So there's this trend making the rounds online for anyone using meds like Ozempic. People are calling it the golden dose. It's supposed to be this free extra shot you can get from each injector pen. But is this just a clever money-saving hack, or is it a really, really bad idea for your health? Let's get into it.
All right, first, let's just get a sense of the scale here. The use of these GLP-1 drugs for obesity has, well, it's just exploded. We're talking a nearly 600% increase in prescriptions in just 5 years. That's huge. It means something like 1 in every 8 adults in America has taken one of these drugs.
So when you have millions and millions of people using these injector pens, what happens? Well, of course, they start talking to each other online. And that's exactly when this weird observation started popping up about what's left inside the pen after that last dose.
And this is what they're calling it the golden dose. The idea is after you take your 4 prescribed weekly shots, a lot of people are noticing there's still a little bit of liquid left in the pen. So the question that's just buzzing all over social media is, hey, can I use that for a secret 5th shot?
And look, you can totally see why this is so tempting, right? I mean, these medications are not cheap. So the big question is this online hack a smart way to make your prescription last longer, or is it a serious health risk? That's really what we need to break down here.
Okay, so what is that leftover liquid really? Is it some kind of bonus dose, or is it something else? Let's hear what the actual medical experts have to say about this.
So, just so we're on the same page, the golden dose is the name people online have given to that small amount of medication left in the pen after you've taken all 4 of your prescribed shots for the month.
But here's the thing. According to medical experts like Dr. Iram Chaudhry, that liquid is absolutely not a bonus. He calls it a deliberate overfill, and it's in there for a very, very specific reason.
Yeah, this overfill is not a mistake. It's actually a key part of how the pen is designed. Think of it as a safety buffer. It's there to let you prime the needle before an injection, and it accounts for any tiny little differences in the delivery mechanism. The whole point is to guarantee that you get 4 full, accurate doses. Nothing more, nothing less.
And if you look at the official instructions from the companies that make these pens, it couldn't be clearer. Dr. Hans Schmidt points out that they explicitly tell you to throw the pen away after 4 doses or 30 days, no matter how much liquid looks like it's left. There's really no gray area here.
So, if the experts and the manufacturers are all saying don't do it, what's the big deal? What could actually happen if you try it anyway? Well, it turns out the dangers are pretty serious.
Trying to get that so-called golden dose isn't just a harmless little trick. You're actually looking at 3 major risks. First, you have no way of knowing how much you're injecting. Second, you could give yourself a nasty infection. And third, the pen itself is no longer sterile.
So let's talk about that first one, inaccurate dosing. On one hand, you could be underdosing, injecting such a tiny amount that it's not even effective, which kind of defeats the purpose of your treatment. On the other hand, you could be overdosing, which ramps up your risk for some pretty awful side effects like nausea and vomiting. The point is, you just can't control it. It's a total crapshoot.
Okay, risk number 2 is infection. And this is a really big one. The drug maker themselves warns that trying to break into these pens to get that last bit out is just not clean. You're basically opening the door for bacteria to get right into your body. That could lead to a painful abscess or even something as life-threatening as sepsis.
And that brings us right to the third risk, expired sterility. These pens are designed and guaranteed to be sterile for only 30 days, 4 weeks. So if you're trying to take a 5th dose in a 5th week, you're using a medical device way past its safety window. You're literally gambling with contamination.
All right, so it's pretty clear the golden dose is a terrible idea. So what's the right way to handle your medication to make sure you're being safe and getting the full benefit? Let's go over the correct way to do things. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I get it, no golden dose. But what if I just take more of my regular dose? Wouldn't that help me lose weight faster? It's a totally understandable thought, but it's based on a misunderstanding of how these medications are supposed to work with your body.
But the experts are very clear on this. No. There's a really important reason your doctor starts you on a low dose and slowly increases it over time. It's a process called titration. It gives your body a chance to get used to the medication, and it helps minimize those severe side effects that might make you want to quit altogether. Trying to rush it just doesn't work.
So, after you've taken that 4th and final dose, what should you do with the pen? Well, the proper disposal is actually really simple and safe. Step 1. Unscrew the needle from the pen. Step 2. Put that used needle into an approved sharps container. Never ever just throw it in the regular trash.
And finally, get rid of the pen itself as instructed, which can depend on your local rules.
Okay, so we've debunked the myth, we've gone through the very real risks, and we've covered the right way to handle these pens. Let's pull it all together for the final verdict.
It really all boils down to this. The idea of getting a little extra for free is tempting, I get it, but your safety has to come first. Let's just say it one more time so it's perfectly clear. That leftover liquid is not a secret fifth dose, it's a safety feature.
So the most important thing to remember is this. Always follow the prescription and the instructions from your doctor and the manufacturer. If you have any questions about your dose, if you feel like it's not working, if you're worried about the cost, the person to talk to is your doctor, not some random person on a forum.
And really, that leaves us with one final thought. We live in an age of endless online hacks for everything, right? But you have to ask yourself, when it comes to your own health, is any online shortcut really worth the risk?